Audio Jungle.
Hello and good evening. Welcome back to C414 News. Today's topic is going to be focused on the Vietnam War. This war lasted from 1955 to 1975, yet it still has everlasting effects on the United States. We are going to be focused on three topics: credibility gap, anti-war movement, and the effect of the draft.
The credibility gap used to describe Johnson's handling of the escalation of American involvement in Vietnam. Throughout 1967, Johnson's administration began to paint an optimistic picture about the United States situation in Vietnam. However, the Tet Offensive proved that Johnson's administration had deceived not only the public but also the Congress. Those events helped to prove public suspicion that there was a significant gap between the administration's declaration and reality.
Can you believe how great the war in Vietnam is going? Johnson has this so under control. I can't wait to have our brothers and husbands home so quickly. Can you believe the Tet Offensive? Johnson and his government have been lying to us this entire time. I'm pissed.
The credibility gap. Politically, this has affected our country because even in 2018, we have more distrust in our government than ever before. From rigging elections, endless scandals, and endless attacks on our government from the media, the American public believe that the U.S. are lying. The media in Vietnam and today have increased this due to their coverage on the war and politics.
Anti-war movement. The movement against the Vietnam War began small among peace activists on college campuses, but gained national prominence in 1965 after the United States began bombing North Vietnam in earnest. Anti-war marches and other protests, such as the ones organized by Students for a Democratic Society, attracted a widening base of support over the next 3 years, peaking in early 1968, after the successful Tet Offensive by North Vietnamese troops proved that the war's end was nowhere in sight.
No more war! No more war! No more war!
Anti-war movement. Socially, it disrupted the entire country that it had a lasting effect on the U.S. It sparked the desire to fight for what we believe in and set the tone for the future in America of having a voice against the government. Today, a major protest against the government is the anti-gun movement. Without the Vietnam War being so openly protested against, many wouldn't begin protesting today against our government.
During the Vietnam War, about 2/3 of American troops were volunteered. The rest were selected for military service throughout the drafts. As anti-Vietnam War protests increased remarkably in the United States during the late 1960s, the draft apparently became a target of criticism. In 1964, many students illegally burned their draft cards. There were more than 300,000 deserters and the draft evaders in total, in which 209,517 men illegally resisted the draft, while some 100,000 deserted. Among them, around 30,000 immigrated to Canada during 1966 through 1972.
The draft. Since the Vietnam War, the draft has not been used. This is due to the harsh backlash, lack of desire to fight, and being forced to go in war you didn't believe in. Many people fear the draft in the future and already make jokes on how they'll avoid it. Socially, this created a fear in the American public that they would be forced to go to the front lines. Economically, they left so many families behind with no one to provide for them. After the war, vets struggled to get jobs, thus creating unemployment problems in the United States.